Dear child, what are you doing with that character on your computer screen?
Oh, Dadu, this is an online game. Don't speak right now, please, or I'll lose this round.
Child, but can't you just pause it and explain it to me?
Oof, Dadu, you and your FOMO. It's not possible to pause an online game. See, I lost this round. Now please wait for a bit in the other room. I'll join you after I win this next round, okay?
Okay. Alright. You enjoy your game. Oh, dear God. Wonder what all these kids are up to nowadays. So many new trends and terminologies each day. And what in the world is this FOMO anyway?
What you heard just now, my dear listeners, was just a simple snippet from what usually goes on in a majority of families in the modern world. As a Gen Z myself, I have experienced something like this firsthand, and I can assure you, it usually doesn't play out any more different than it did in this conversation, usually ending with both parties of the conversation wondering what's wrong with the other and why they cannot understand each other. Well, a huge factor that contributes for the same, and quite visibly, is rapid advancement of technology. However, today we will be discussing another huge factor that contributes to such differences as a byproduct of the technological advancements in the digital age, which is the topic for today. That is, rapid changes of linguistic terminologies in modern generations. The 21st century has been a time in which technology has advanced rapidly. Some would go even as far as to refer to it as the golden age of technology, wherein we have entered a completely novel digital age. And in this digital age, the first generations to be born and brought up in were the Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Now, we have to understand that these two generations in particular have grown up in a completely different world in contrast to the preceding generations. From the time of using physical maps and charts to simply using features like GPS, from the times of playing video games in a gaming arcade to simply playing video games on the computer or mobile phone, and thousands of other changes in lifestyle of a person growing up. These changes have been massive, with digitization of nearly all things that can be possibly converted into digital information. Now, with these changes, the English language as we understand it has also evolved alongside technology to similar degrees. And no, this is not simply referring to new digital innovations that come by, but putting it simply, it also refers to the recycling of older words into newer terms. Many of these are, however, classified into the category of slang words, that is, words used during informal speech. This leads to certain differences in all kinds of people that have different cultures, traditions, and plenty of times even impacting and widening the generational gap between people, leading to further miscommunication and misunderstandings between different generations. This is mainly due to the different perceptions and understandings that many people have towards different things in life. While it may not be wrong to have your own unique opinion, it is wrong, however, to view changes in the society in a radically negative light. For such approaches only go on to narrow people's ways of thinking. It can make people feel older, ousted, or excluded from the society, leading to isolation. Many people argue that the use of shortened or slang-heavy communication dilutes grammatical structure and formal expression. While this may be true, this is precisely why, as a society, we must teach and learn the ethics of language usage with proper context and clarity, with full understanding of words in our languages, where they can be used and where they cannot be used. For example, slang terms are considered inappropriate for conversations in formal settings and so on. Which is why, instead of dismissing these changes as bad language, we should study them and understand what they reflect. For instance, with the sheer increase in the number of these slang words, there has already been a general acceptance of such terms during current times. For instance, the Oxford Word of the Year 2023 was riz. usually referring to a person's charm and attractiveness, contributing to their ability to attract a romantic partner. Another instance where Oxford recognized the term brain rot as a legitimate one in 2024. These instances imply that the world is slowly coming to accept these changes in the language, because these changes are simply so rapid that at one point there would be a new word or term arising from the internet nearly every few months or even weeks. Each time a new word or term arises, it has a different origin. Some come out as a combination between multiple cultures or languages. For instance, in the United Kingdom, the term blood, spelled as BLUD, became a casual term for a friend, while at the same time, the same term signified a strong bond of brotherhood or kinship as a concept in the Caribbean and African American culture before it was widely adopted in the United Kingdom. Other times, these terminologies are recycled in forms of abbreviations of words and phrases that were already present in the English language previously. Some of these examples are legit as an abbreviation of the word legitimate, FOMO as an acronym for the phrase fear of missing out. Some of these abbreviations and acronyms themselves are recycled into newer ones, such as that one time I had to stop my mother from writing LOL, usually expanding as laugh out loud, to a grieving friend because she thought it meant lots of love. These examples only contribute to a small percentage of modern terms that are already present in modern Gen Z and Gen Alpha linguistics. We understand that these rapid changes in Gen Z and Gen Alpha are not random or meaningless, quite unlike what most stereotypes portray them to be, but they represent how communication adapts in an age of speed, connectivity, and diversity. We can observe that the way the current generation communicates has mostly been through online means such as social media, memes, video streaming platforms, and even gaming. These sources provide all kinds of media that are consumed by our generation on a daily basis. It is a known fact that the internet by itself contains so much information that it would take up multiple libraries stacked completely with books to cover merely a portion of what is available and accessible by the general public on the internet. This allows millions of youngsters to gain all kinds of information on innumerable topics, spreading awareness to people about all kinds of cultures and traditions to people sitting in their homes. This kind of accessibility to information, combined with the rapid globalization, brings in cultural exchanges, courtesy the help of social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, etc., providing not only distribution of all kinds of information from one person to another, but also being able to connect with different people sitting thousands of kilometers away, thus causing a complete mixture of different cultures across the world, which, when merged into other cultures in innumerable permutations of millions of people across the world, the number of newer terms and cultural references increases tenfold. So, with all these improvisations and advancements, it's fair enough to say that each and every person on this planet has plenty to keep up with. All these differences in our rapidly evolving and expanding society. How can we, as its people, deal with it? The answer to this is quite simple. It is to keep up a curious and eager to learn mind that is open to change and is keen to evolve with the ever-changing world. Human beings are social animals, and perhaps the most intelligent kinds. We should not remain chained to invisible prisons that we build for ourselves in our mind. It is as unnatural as a healthy bird sitting in a cage all day. Mankind is a species that is meant to evolve and learn all the time. If it was not that attribute of humanity, we would have never gotten as far as a species as we have until now. So, my recommendation to all people listening to this is that keep an open mind, interact with people, and never be afraid of learning and trying out new things, for that is the only way one can grow. New changes, especially in languages, might feel like dangerous territory as they might appear to threaten society with exclusivity and isolation from people. But if we channel these changes correctly by being more open-minded and accepting towards them, then in a world that is already so well connected due to technological marvels like the internet, language as a whole has the capability to become more expressive, creative, and adaptable. Accepting such changes can foster feelings of inclusion in the society, especially in the younger generations, allowing them to communicate and articulate their emotions, feelings, and identities more freely. Rather than resisting these changes, we must appreciate how languages reflect our evolving identities and cultures, and we must respect that. Remember, while languages carry cultural significance in our society, especially in a country like India, it is definitely a part of our responsibility to uphold and preserve our cultures and traditions. However, we must not forget the main reason why we use languages in the first place: for ease of communication and understanding each other for the sake of our mutual well-being. Changes are inevitable in all aspects of life. We must simply have the courtesy of accepting and adapting to the same. Languages will always change, and this is exactly what keeps it alive.